بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. The author mentions the 13th point. إذا قرأت الكتاب لخص الفوائد المدونة. Whenever you read the book and you've written down the beneficial or the precious benefits, as we mentioned in the previous point, he now says summarize them. Point 13 is to summarize the fawaid. Make ikhtisar of the fawaid that are nafisa. A very important point here. And another skill is to learn how to memorize just the beginning of the sentence or the beginning of the faida and have the rest of it in your head. So all you got to do is just review the code or the acronym, or like we mentioned, or just review Qala ibn al-Qayyim, the Mahabba of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is achieved, هكذا. The author says إما في غلاف الكتاب أو في الهوامش أو في دفتر خارجي. المهم كن حريصا على عدم فقدان أي فائدة، وإذا فقدت فائدة ولم تقيدها فابحث عنها كما تبحث عن الضالة حتى تجدها. ثم إذا جمعت الفوائد فقسمها إلى أبواب عقدية أصولية فقهية إلى آخره. وثق تمام الثقة بعد فضل الله أنك إذا قرأت كتابين أو ثلاثة أو 10 ثم قيدت ما مر بك من الفوائد أولا ثم رتبت تلك الفوائد حسب موضوعها وجعلت لكل نوع من الفوائد دفترا مستقلا تذكر فيه الفائدة النفيسة ومرجعها. تلك الساعة إذا أعدت النظر فيها أو أردت إلقاء محاضرة أو كتابة بحث أو مناقشة ستجد أن عندك خيرا كثيرا. Author says, either you put the summary of these fawaid in the first page of the book, he says, or the footnotes or the margin, the side margins of the book, or a specific note or journal, as we mentioned before. He says what's important is that you have to be diligent. You have to be very earnest with regards to locking down these fawaid. Any faida, don't let it escape, don't let it get away from you. He says if you lose a faida, he says then search for it like you search for a lost camel. Like you search for a lost camel or your lost car keys or your cell phone. You go crazy, you go frantic. Where's my phone? Anybody see my phone? You have to look for your faida, get your faida. He says, and when you compile a list of fawaid, he says then organize them according to faida or fawaid of aqidah, fawaid in usul al-fiqh, fawaid of actual fiqh, etc. He says, and after the bounty of Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah's blessing first and foremost, he says that you have to have total confidence. Is that when you do this and you've read one book or 3 books or 10 books, he says, and you've written down the fawaid, then you've organized them, he says you are going to find it very easy to go back to those fawaid when you need them. Alright? When you need to read something or give a lecture or write a book, write an article, you have a debate, it's simple and easy for you to get them. Very important point from the author. Point number 14, he says, إذا قرأت كتابا في فن معين فاجعل ذلك الكتاب أصلا. مثلا قرأت كتابا في الرؤى والأحلام ثم عثرت على فائدة تتعلق بالرؤى والأحلام فاكتبها أو أشر إليها في غلاف ذلك الكتاب أو في أوراق تجعلها داخلها. وسترى إذا أردت إلقاء محاضرة أو كتابة بحث أو مشاركة في ندوة عن الموضوع أنه قد اجتمع لديك مع الكتاب المقروء فوائد كثيرة، وتلك الفوائد تكون روافد لإكمال ما نقص أو الإضافة أو تكميل الكامل إلى الكمال وهلم جرا. Author says, point number 14 is that when you read a book concerning a specific science or field, make that book the mother book. Make that book the asl. That's your asl. He says, for example, when you read a book concerning the interpretation of dreams, then you come across another faida pertaining to dream interpretation in another book. He says, then write it in the original book, or make a note of the page number, the volume, or the author, or the quote in the original book. He says, put it in the cover page, the initial page, the index, whatever. He says, or place some papers, index cards, sticky notes, whatever you have to do inside of the original book. And then within that title, you'll have the original book that you read once or more than once, your favorite book or the most important book or the most classical book. Then you add the other surplus fawaid to it. He says, then this is going to do nothing but complete what may be missing from the original book, or add more upon more, beauty upon beauty, light upon light to the original book. Now pay attention to this skill set right here. Let's take a book in Aqidah. Let's say, for example, Kitab al-Tawheed. Let's say a person makes Kitab al-Tawheed his main book in Aqidah, his favorite book in Aqidah, and that's his asl, that's his mother book, his springboard. So obviously the author is saying here to go to the different explanations, the other books of Aqidah, the Athar, the Fatawa about Aqidah, and put them in the footnotes of your copy of Kitab al-Tawheed. Or put them in the footnotes of the copy of your Fath al-Majid or Taysir al-Aziz Hamid. That way you have the asl that you like, that you're familiar with, you read it so many times, you may have memorized it, and you have the other stuff that's missing out of Kitab al-Tawheed or the idafat, the spices. In other words, Kitab al-Tawheed is your main course. That's your steak and that's your potatoes. Steak and potatoes. But now you might want a salad. You want a little spice. You want a little of this peppercorn, coriander, and so on and so forth. You have dessert, you have hors d'oeuvres, you have soup, you have all of that surrounding the main meal of the steak and the potatoes that you know how to cook, you know what it's going to taste like. That's staple, that's done. But now you have the other things on the side. Everybody understand this? This is a very important skill set with regards to reading a book. Point number 15, طريقة المقارنة والمفارقة. فإذا كان الكتاب مجموعة من الشروح فابدأ بالشرح الذي قد يكون أكثر جمعا واجعله أصلا، ثم إذا قرأت شرحا ثانيا ومر بك فوائد نفيسة لم تذكر في الشرح الأصلي فقم بتدوين تلك الفوائد في موضعها المناسب في كتاب شرح الأصل، وهكذا في كل شرح تقرأه. He says here, number 15 is to compare and gauge the different books, the different works. Let's say you're reading a book, the metin or whatever book has shuruh, has explanations. He says, so start off with the explanation which has the most fawaid, the most comprehensive sharh. And obviously the author is not talking about as a beginner starting off reading in general, but he's talking about something else. But one may say, I thought you said before, start off with the easiest sharh. What's important is, inshallah, no contradiction. He says, start off with the sharh to make your asl, to write in, which is the most comprehensive. And then when you read the other sharh, you add the things to it. The things that are missing in this main sharh, you put them in that main sharh from the other side shuruh. This one is bigger, it's better, it's superior, but it's still missing certain things. Never scoring any sharh. You never know that one word, that one jumla, that one sentence, that one athar that you can't get in the main sharh, but you get in a smaller sharh. Just like a bookstore. People is scoring bookstores. Oh, this bookstore is whack. This is a Looney Tune bookstore, some people say. This is a nursery rhyme bookstore. There's nothing in there. It's whack, they say. Many brothers say this. I'm not going out and wasting my time in there. But a true book shark, a true person who has a knack for books, a natural talent, a nose for books. And wallahi, in Medina, we met many brothers that were like this. And alhamdulillah, Allah allowed us to inherit many of these skills and practices and become book sharks, inshallah ta'ala, and find all types of books, rare books and valuable books and different explanations of books. And we will watch and we will observe and we see brothers that will go to every single bookstore. Whether they will go to the Qirtasiya, they will go to the stationery store. Not even a bookstore, a stationery store, and they would look in the back and there was a crate or a box and they would sift through them and look through them and blow off the dust. Give me that book right there. And they said, no, that's incomplete. It's missing a volume. I know, give it to me. Or you don't want this book, there's no good books. I want the whole box. Or other bookstores that were Islamic bookstores, but weren't that prestigious. Or may have not been 100% Islamic bookstores. You'll never know the book that you'll come across. You'll never know what you'll find. A modern bookstore. It doesn't have to be an old, dusty bookstore. It could be a modern bookstore that many brothers will scorn. And I will go into those modern bookstores and you'll be shocked at some old books that you'll find in a modern bookstore. You'll be shocked. The book that's the fourth book in the accident is placed by accident. This book is not even supposed to be in this section. It's not supposed to be here, but as we would say, quote unquote, I quote, this is your lucky day. And you found the book that's out of print, that's got holes in it from book bugs, bookworms, and you buy the book for only 10 riyals. It's a steal. And they said, where'd you find that book at? SubhanAllah, we haven't seen that book for years in Medina. I found it at Maktaba Ibn Jarir, Maktaba Jarir, for example. Not Ibn Jarir is the tafsir. So you used to say Ibn Jarir. You get the point, inshallah ta'ala. So it's a very important skill now. The author even says, ويحصل تمام النفع بهذه الطريقة بأعمال المقارنة والمفاضلة على ترتيب. He says, and you'll optimize this technique by putting things in order when you compare بإذن الله تعالى. وبالمثال يتضح المقال. الأربعون النووية لها شروح كثيرة من المتقدمين والمتأخرين، فقد شرح ابن رجب وابن دقيق العيد ومن المعاصر ابن عثيمين والفوزان وغيرهم. ففي مثل هذه جعل شرح ابن رجب هو الأصل، فابدأ بقراءة كلامه على الحديث الأول، ثم اقرأ الشروح بعده على نفس الحديث، ثم انتقل إلى الحديث الثاني، فسترى من خلال ذلك أنك تمكنت من اقتناص الفوائد التي ينفرد بها كل شرح عن الشرح الأصل. He says examples make everything clear. For the hadith of Nawawi has many different explanations. Many ulama, they made explanations to this book. Naam. There were older ulama, newer ulama, etc. He says Ibn Rajab explained the book, Ibn Daqiq al-Eid explained the book, the modern day ulama, Ibn Uthaymeen, Sheikh Fawzan and others. The author didn't mention that Nawawi himself has commentary on the book. He says here, so make Ibn Rajab sharh the asl, and then go through the other shuruh and add things, add fawaid, put them on the side, and make Ibn Rajab the mother book, the main ship, and you make the other ships, the small boats and the small canoes that reach the coast, that reach the beach head. But the main ship is anchored at sea. Everybody clear on this? Khairan inshallah. Point number 16. قراءة كتب العبادات الموسمية في موسمها، وهذا من أنفع الأمور لطالب العلم. فحاول أن تقرأ قبل الحج كتب الحج بدءا بالمختصرات ثم المتوسط ثم المطول، فستشعر إن شاء الله أنك حصلت خيرا كثيرا، وهذا مجرب. فإذا قرأت العبادة الموسمية في وقتها وأنت تتعبد الله تعالى في موسمها فستشعر بلذة العبادة لأنك تعمل على علم وبصيرة. 16th point of advice, he says, is to read the seasonal books. Read the seasonal books. Read the seasonal books during their proper seasons. He says this is from the most beneficial things for the student of knowledge. Before Hajj season comes, he says read the books of Hajj. Start off with the small books, then the intermediate books, then the lengthy, extended books, exhaustive books. He says, and by Allah's permission, inshallah, he says, you're going to find all types of good. And this is something which is proven. When you read the books pertaining to the seasons of ibadah, and you're actually worshiping Allah Azza wa Jalla in that season, then you get the sweetness of the ibadah. Because you're worshiping Allah Azza wa Jalla upon knowledge and upon certainty, upon insight. Just stop and think about this now. I want to give some further points to refine this general point. When it comes to Hajj, you should start reading the books specific to Hajj, let's say a month before Hajj, no less than 30 days before Hajj begins. So, a rough example would be to start reading the books of Hajj during the first day of Dhul Qa'dah, a month before Dhul Hijjah starts. So you give yourself at least 30 days, 40 days, 37 days, 38 days before the actual Hajj begins. Everybody understand this? You give yourself a good amount of time before the Hajj begins and before the Hajj is over. Hajjatul Wada, a menstruating woman, does she have to tawaf al-wada? She have to make the final tawaf. You give yourself time to get this stuff down packed. This is not including your normal study of the fiqh books from A to Z. In school, in the college of hadith, the college of sharia, wherever you're studying. You're studying Zad al-Mustaqni. You're studying this book and this madhab, Sahih Bukhari, whatever, from beginning to end. And Hajj comes across in Jumad al-Ula. But when the Hajj season approaches, you make a special reading and a specific care to the ahkam of Hajj, the fada'il of Hajj. This is extremely important, as the author is mentioning. Now, alhamdulillah, when we learned about this skill, we try to put it in practice in Medina, all right? And every year, one of the pluses of being in Medina, and one also it's a downfall, it's a blessing and a curse, was people will come on Hajj every year. The blessing is obvious. You get to help people out. You get to teach people. You get to spread your knowledge. You get to train and sharpen your blade before you come and return back to America. You get to see your family. You get to see friends. People bring you necessary things that you need. You might need some medicine. Your wife is sick. Your children are sick. You might be yearning for some specific snacks from America. You tell a brother, listen, bring me some Girl Scout cookies. I want a box of Thin Mints, my favorite Girl Scout cookies. Or bring me some sourdough pretzels. Bring me some saltless pretzels. This is a reality. And those who live in Medina, they know what this is. You're craving a snack or a soda or a can, something that you can't find in Saudi Arabia and in the supermarkets. And you're dying to have this one thing. And the brother comes on Hajj and says, Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khairan. May Allah bless your Hajj, give you Hajj mabrur. I mean. The curse of it is that oftentimes it can be a major distraction to your studies. You may have exams. People come from America, they're not trying to hear, I'm busy, I'm caught up, I gotta study, gotta read this, I can't this. We wanna see you, come to the hotel, let's go eat dinner, let's go get thobes, take us to the juice place, take us here, we wanna go to Sheikh Fulan, take us to Sheikh Fulan's house. We wanna buy books, we wanna buy tapes, we wanna buy sandals, we wanna buy kufis, we wanna buy oud. And it can become very time consuming. And there's some hajis, the truth is to be said, they have no consideration of you being a student of knowledge. Some of them, they actually forget, like, yo, dude, have you forgotten? I'm over here to study, not to hang out and drink juice and talk about people. I'm here to learn, to benefit. My time is limited. And there's some brothers, alhamdulillah, and sisters who do respect it and they do know it. And they want to see you. They miss you. You've been going for a while. You didn't go back last summer. La bas. Okay? But you take advantage of that by teaching them and paying zakat on your knowledge and training and practicing. So when people come on Hajj every year, people need fiqh. They need to be taught about a Hajj. The Hajj group is normally a cocktail of people. All sorts of brothers and sisters come on Hajj. It's not just one group. It's not just one race. It's brothers and sisters from all over the place from America coming on Hajj. They have different madhabs, different understanding, different level of concern about the deen, so they need to know. So you already studied Hajj. You've already benefited in the classes. The sheikhs, they're talking about Hajj in the Prophet's masjid and in their homes. But now you're actually reading the books too, reading the fatwas as well. And you're getting sharper and sharper and sharper and sharper and sharper. So when the brothers come and they come for Hajj and Umrah, it's not a problem. What's the question? What's the issue? Boom, 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 bang. Or on the spot, can you give a talk to the brothers in the hotel? Can you give a talk to the brothers and sisters here in the hotel, the restaurant? And we have all types of stories that we could tell you about this. And there are also a few videos on the channel that we've posted, which were done in the cafeteria or the dining hall inside of hotels to Hajjis. He says, so read these books. So what I'm saying is that don't ever be sloppy. You want to prepare ahead of time. When it's Ramadan time, whether people are coming on for Umrah or not, whether you're in America or not, your own self, read the ahkam of Ramadan, the fadail of Ramadan, the fadail of fasting a month before Ramadan even begins. You want to read it in the beginning of Sha'ban. Everybody understand this? وَهَكَذَا Ashura, so on and so forth, Dhul Hijjah, whatever the case may be. Everybody clear on this? Khairan, inshallah. Number 17. قراءة كتب الفتاوى. في هذا المبحث أدلكم على طريقة وجدتها من أحسن الطرق وقد طبقتها مع بعض الفضلاء فنفع الله القائل ومن معه هذا المبحث ينطبق مع قول البخاري باب طرح الإمام المسألة على أصحابه ليختبر ما عندهم من العلم وأنا أقول هنا طرح الأخ المسألة على أصحابه ليختبر ما عندهم من العلم. Point number 17, the author says reading the books of Fatawa. To read the books of Fatawa. Like we just previously mentioned, you have the fiqh books you study, the hadith books you study, and you also read the specific abhath, the research papers, the modern day issues. What's the ruling on making Hajj in a wheelchair? What's the ruling on making Hajj with a woman without a mahram, traveling on a plane? You read the specific modern day books. You also read the fatwa. You read the fatwa of the ulama and the muftiin, the mashayikh regarding the issues as well. And in general, the author says in this section, I want to steer you in the direction of something that is extremely beneficial, something that I found was very helpful, and I've put it into practice with many virtuous brothers, and alhamdulillah, Allah benefited us all. He says, and this is as if it applies to the statement of Imam al-Bukhari in his Sahih. He made a chapter heading that says, when the Imam places an issue upon his friends, his companions, his colleagues, he asks them a question to test them out, to see what they know about the issue. Not meaning to break their backs or to test them. What do you think about Fulan and Fulan? No, 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 no. He's talking about actual sparring and fencing to see how sharp they are, what type of knowledge they have or they don't have. He says, and I'm saying for a brother to ask his friend or his fellow brother an issue to see what he knows. In other words, to practice with each other. خذ كتابا من كتب الفتاوى ويحسن ذلك على وجه الخصوص في أوقات العبادات الموسمية بأن تأخذ كتابا في العبادة نفسها وبعد اختيار الكتاب اتفق مع أخ أو إخوة لك على أن يكون بينكم مدارسة في هذا الكتاب فيقوم أحدكم بقراءة السؤال من الكتاب ثم يبدأ الحاضرون في الجواب بحسب ما يظهر لهم وإذا اختلف جواب أحدهما عن الآخر يقوم كل واحد منهما بالتعليل لجوابه والرد على جواب أخيه وليس هذا من القول على الله بلا علم بل هو من باب المدارسة وعند فراغكم من المدارسة يقوم القارئ بقراءة الجواب وعندها يكون الجميع متشوقين إلى السماع الإجابة بتلهف لمعرفة خطئهم من صوابهم وهذا التلهف والتشوق يزيد من رسوخ الفائدة في الذهن ثم يطرح القارئ سؤالا آخر وهكذا وإذا جاء الاجتماع وطرحت الأسئلة السابقة عليهم وبعد استذكار الإجابة يبدأ في طرح أسئلة جديدة. The author, he says, take an example. He says an example is to take a book of fatwa. You choose the book. So let's say you say the books of, or the fatwa Ibn Baz. Alright? Lajna Daima, Permanent Committee of Scholars. Or ulama Dar al-Iftah, Dar al-Iftah al-Misriya. Alright? For example, مثلا, he says, and it's really good if you can take a seasonal book as well, like we just mentioned, about Hajj, Ramadan, whatever. So he says, take the book, and then you and another brother or a bunch of brothers, you get together. And basically choose or designate one reader for the book. And he reads the question to everybody. The su'al says, a woman from Sudan says, yeah, Sheikh, my husband swore by Allah that if I left the house, he would divorce me. Then I had to leave the house to go to the hospital. I came back. Am I divorced or not? So on and so forth. That's the su'al from a Sudanese or Sudani woman. Then ask each person, starting, let's say, for the right or the oldest, well, however you want to do it. Fadl, yalla. What do you think? I don't know. All right, next one. What do you think? I don't want to say that without any knowledge. As some brothers, his chick says that's not the case. This is studying. This is practicing. This is sparring. It is not making a fatwa in front of people. All right? So everyone should answer the question according to what he knows. So once you go around the room or the circle and everybody is giving the answer, if everyone has the same answer, that's one thing. If the people differ, then they now have to explain why. What do you think and why? Why is Abdullah wrong in your view? And he has to explain himself. Then after that's done, then you read the fatwa. And you see what Sheikh Ibn Baz says with regards to this issue. He says, in this, bid'Allah ta'ala, it will get the people to be hype. He says, talahuf. They'll have a thirst for knowledge. They'll love it. It'll be sweet. It's delicious. Oh man, I can't wait for the next question. And everybody review. And then in the next sitting, they ask the same questions. They review them, and then they bring in the new questions. Well, now I remember vividly, one of the mashayikh in Medina, he told us this when we visited his house. Dr. Tarhib al-Dawsari. This was years ago, in 2002, when I first went to Medina when I was 18. And he explained to us that the way that he studied when he was younger in Saudi, he said it was very different than how people study today. That's what he said. He says very, very, yeah. He says, تختلف تماما. Totally different than how you guys study. He says, when we were younger, we did things different. We did things in a group. We picked up books. We were critical. He says, so what I advise you guys is we speak to the American brothers. I wasn't in university at the time, but alhamdulillah, I could understand Arabic completely. I was sitting with the other brothers that were in the language program. Some were in the College of Hadith, etc. Some were in the College of Dawah. So we're sitting around and the brothers are drinking tea, coffee, eating the dates, or whatever the case may be, the different cookies, the snacks that he had for them, in his majlis, and with his library near his house. So when that happened, he said, for example, take Al-Aqidah al-Wasatiyah and read a chapter from it. And then go around the room and says, yeah, Akhi Fulan, Mada Fahimt. What did you get? What points did you understand? What did you think? How does it apply? And then everybody will go around and give their view and give their opinion. And people had to think, he said. They had to think. They had to contribute. It wasn't just everybody just sit and listen. It wasn't like that all the time, he said. So that's exactly what Sheikh Sadhan is saying here. And it goes to show you that the masdar is one. It's one original source for these techniques. Khairan, inshallah. That's a very beneficial point. Point number 18. The author says, إذا حصلت على كتاب جديد اشتري لك أو أهدي إليك فحاول قبل أن تضعه في المكتبة أن تتصفح الفهرس والمقدمة، وهذه قراءة استطلاعية لتعرف الكتاب معرفة إجمالية، فتقول مثلا جاني كتاب اليوم هو شرح لحديث خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلم والشارح في القرن الرابع الهجري والكتاب حققه فلان، فيكون عندك خلفية تكون إن شاء الله من الروافد المساندة لقراءته لاحقا. 18th point, well, alhamdulillah, something we explained before in detail with regards to when you get a new book, a book is bought for you, a gift is given to you. He says, then try to read the introduction and the index or the table of contents before you put it on the shelf. And alhamdulillah, we explained this in detail. We explained this. He says here, this for you to just know about the book, to peruse through the book. All right, this book I got today is on the explanation of the hadith. The best of you are those who learn the Quran and teach it. For example, the person who made the explanations from the 4th century, now Tahqiq is edited by Fulan. That way you have a general background on the book so you can go back to it easily in the future. And this goes to show you, and alhamdulillah, I never studied with Sheikh Abdul Aziz Sadhan. I never met him. I got his advice from another one of my teachers in Medina, older sheikh. It goes to show you, as we just said, that the original source of these different points and these techniques and these advices is one. Others have more, some have less, there are more details, but it's one general point, which goes to show you that it's not just made up information now. Tayyib, number 19. إياك والتنقل من كتاب إلى آخر. He says, beware of jumping from one book to the next. Beware of jumping from one book to the next. كثرة التنقل بين الكتب بلا ضوابط تتعب الذهن وتشتت الفائدة. نعم، هناك كتب مطولة تحتاج إلى أشهر وسنوات، فهذه يكون لها وقت معين، لكن إذا رتبت وقتا محددا لكتاب معين فلا تزاحمه بكتاب آخر. رتب وقتك وحال أن تقلل من الكتب المقروءة في يومك أو أسبوعك، وذلك لأنك إذا نظمت وقتك ورتبت ثواني حياتك جعلت الكتاب أو الكتب في أول الأمر قليلة كتابين أو ثلاثة، ستجد أن هناك شوقا يدفعك إلى التزود، وهذا يكون بعد توفيق الله منوطا بترتيب وقتك، بخلاف ما لو أكثرت الكتب على نفسك وأكثرت التنقل بينها. All he says, jumping from book to book will break you up. It will split you up. It will weaken your mind. He says, and it separates you, it isolates the fa'idah. He says, no doubt, there are big books, long books, books that have many volumes, that need months, that need years to read. He says, make them for a specific time. He says, and organize your time once more. This is the time to read Tamheed. And this is the time to read Mutun. This is the time to read this big long sharh, this tafsir, for example. He says here, so when you have a book like that, don't mix it with another book. Stay with the pattern, stay with the time. Be disciplined with regards to the day, with regards to the week. Try to minimize the amount of books that you're reading along with that book or during that time, etc. He says, and when you do this bid'ah ta'ala, it will get you more thirsty and more hungry to read bigger, longer, and greater books, as we have previously mentioned. Khairan, inshallah, point 20, we'll mention in the coming class, or we'll explain in the coming class. It says here, استعن بإخوانك إذا علمت من نفسك أنها تضعف عن القراءة. He says, when you find yourself to be weak, seek the help of your brothers. Seek the help of your colleagues, those who are older than you, those who are content, those who are similar in your age. Seek their help. In other words, you're not alone, and it's no excuse to just quit and to drop out of your reading. Khairan, inshallah. That's the 20th point. By Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's permission, we're coming up on the end of this chapter. Hopefully we'll have the ability to mention this in the next class. I honestly pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I beg Him to allow us to appreciate what we have read and allow us to implement it and act upon it, because Wallah is golden advice, and it can make a huge difference in your studies, Arabic or English, Medina, Yemen, America, wherever you are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Thank you very much for listening. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.